What's the difference between quarantine and isolation? Quarantine is for people who may have been exposed to COVID-19 but aren't sick yet. Isolation is for people who tested positive for COVID-19 or have symptoms of COVID-19. You should quarantine if you were exposed to COVID-19. This means you were in close contact with someone who has COVID-19. Close contact means you were closer than 6 feet, or about 2 arm lengths, from someone who has COVID-19 for a total of 15 minutes or longer in a day. You should stay on quarantine for 10 days. Or you can be tested on day 7 of quarantine, and if you test negative and do not have any symptoms of COVID-19, you can end quarantine. Quarantine keeps you away from others so you don't infect someone else without knowing it. During quarantine, check for symptoms of COVID-19 every day. This includes taking your temperature. Stay home and away from other people as much as possible. You should not go to work, school, extracurricular activities, religious services, or family gatherings until your quarantine is over. Have food delivered or ask someone to go to the store for you to get groceries and supplies if you can. If you must leave your home for essential items like groceries or to seek medical care, it is very important you take extra safety precautions so you don't spread the virus to other people. Always wear a mask and keep 6 feet of distance between you and others. Limit the number of visitors to your home. Clean surfaces that are touched often, like phones, doorknobs, and light switches. You should wait 7 days to get tested after your last exposure. This lets enough of the virus build up in your body to be detected by the test. If you choose not to get tested or you are living with someone who has COVID-19, you can end quarantine 10 days after the last time you were around the person who has COVID-19. If you live with someone who tests positive for COVID-19, you are at a much higher risk of getting infected with the virus. You should not end quarantine before 10 days, even if you test negative. It can be very hard to stay isolated from people who have COVID-19 and live in your home. This means you may need to quarantine longer than 10 days if you can't stay away from the person who is sick. Every time you come into close contact with the person who tested positive while they are infectious, your 10-day quarantine starts over. Visit coronavirus.utah.gov to learn more about quarantine. By working together for the greater good, we can slow the spread of COVID-19.